Good morning, everybody. I hope you're well and had a lovely, restful weekend. It's Monday, the 27th of April, 2020. So Monday, 27th of April, 2020. Our short date is 27.4.2020. Let's have a look at the tasks that we have set you today. So you will have received on Class Dojo an English task, and our English task today is to read and comprehend and answer questions. So you will have a piece of text to read. You will need to understand it, and then you need to answer the questions that are on the sheet. We really need you this week to be looking at all of the vocabulary. That's all of the words that are used in this writing, because it will help you later in the week when you are doing your writing about superheroes. So, today, when you've had a look at your text, you need to read and answer questions about the text. So I'm going to give you a little example. This isn't what you're reading, but this is an example of what you might do. So, one day, Eco Girl went to the park to play with her dog, Dave. She put on her coat, gloves, and hat, and looked for Dave's lead. So the questions that might be about that text are, what was the name of the superhero? Let's have another read. One day, Eco Girl went to the park to play with her dog, Dave. Is her name Dave? No. Is her name Eco Girl? Yes. So the answer would be Eco Girl. Another question may be, what 3 items did she put on before leaving the house? So let's have a read. She put on her coat, gloves, and hat and looked for Dave's lead. Did she put on a lead? No. Did she put on some socks or some shoes? No. She put on a coat, gloves, and hat. So your answer would be those 3 things. Okay, so enjoy reading your text and look carefully, double check that you've got the right answers. After you have done your English, your Turkish teacher will have given you a Turkish task of which you can do a small chunk. Just as we normally do, our normal routine would be then to have a snack or a break and maybe do an active brain break. Then it's time for maths. Now in maths today, you're going to be counting in fractions. Now this is quite tricky, so you will need to watch the video and listen very carefully, and I would suggest if you're not clear, go back and watch it again. But I'm going to give you a little help, an idea about that as well. So to count in fractions, when we count normally, let's just hide that just for a second. So let's just look at these bits here. So when we count the squares normally, it's just 1 whole square, 2 whole squares, 3 whole squares. But when we're counting in fractions, for example, if we want to break our square up into quarters, which we know is 4 equal parts, we know that we've got 1 whole square, but if I wanted to do counting fractions, I'd do 1 whole square and 1 quarter. And then I might add in another quarter. So I've got 1 whole square and 2 quarters, or we know that 2 quarters is the same as 1/2. So far I have got, let's just move that back a bit. First of all, I had 1 whole square and 1 quarter, and then I added in another quarter, so I had 1 whole square and 1/2, so it would be 1 and 1 quarter, and then 1 and 1 half. And then if I added in another quarter, I would have 1 and how many quarters have I got? 1, 2, 3. So this time I would have 1 and 3 quarters. Of course, I could write here if I wanted to, because they are equivalent. I could write 1 and 2 quarters, and then you can see that we are still counting up 1, 2, 3, and we've still got all of our quarters there. But we do know that 2 quarters is equivalent to 1/2, which is what you did last week. So, and then finally, if I added in my last quarter, I've now got 4 quarters, haven't I? So I've got 1 and 4 quarters. But actually, we know that when you've got a denominator and a numerator and a denominator that are the same, it actually makes a whole, because we can see here that now our 4 quarters have made a whole. So it wouldn't be 1 and 4 quarters. What it would actually be is, what have I got here? I've got 1 whole square, 2 whole squares. So you can see that we've counted up in quarters. Okay, and then you can carry on. You could have 2 and 1 quarter, 2 and 2 quarters. Wonder what would come next. Have a think. What do you think? Okay. Have a look at the video. If you've got any questions, then you can come back to me and ask. Okay. After you've done your maths, it will be time for some lunch. And after you've had your lunch, it's your free choice time. So, as we've always said before, you can use it to catch up. You can use it to do some handwriting. You could do some reading. Please remember to keep on reading. We've sent you a couple of new links. Remember to put in at least once a week, send me a video of your reading so that I can comment on it and help you to keep up with those reading skills. You might want to do something active. And just for fun today, I have put in a link with one of Mr. Yeshilada's brain breaks, active brain breaks. So you might like to have a look at that as well. Okay, guys, take care. Have fun today. Bye-bye.